A
think
little
that's
bit.
the cue for you to get a new monitor.
No, I'm sticking with my £100 TV, thank you.
She's sticking with the monitor that turns green and means she can't hear Discord.
It only normally happens like once a call.
Well, maybe you can like put it behind you and make it into a green screen, and then
Yeah, but
who knows the creative side of you that could come out there.
I don't think that would be wise.
She's
Behind me,
I have a Discord. You know how on Discord you can change, like, you do green screen on it, kind of?
Yeah.
I have Lightning McQueen as one of them.
God.
So...
Ka-chow!
It's so funny. I just like to be like, I'll be back in a second, leave for a minute, and then just turn it back on.
Wow.
Look like a Cadillac, sting like a bee.
Wow.
I think my best green screen point was whenever I was working at the cinema and I went as Green Arrow, so I was Green Arrow against the green screen.
Nice. You're a floating goatee.
Yeah, pretty much. My boss had no concept of how green screens worked.
Blue screen, isn't it?
So it was very much that episode out of Anchorman. So everyone was just like, your legs are, you've lost the legs, and I was just standing just going, ah!
I wonder if you took out your penis, would you just be a floating penis?
Probably.
That's pretty much how it works.
Trust me to bring it down.
I don't want to be like, you should try it, because I don't want to endorse that kind of behavior.
Hey, well, I mean, I do all my own behavior and I behave badly, so I am not the person to tell to do things because I will do them.
Don't tempt me.
I'm
a bad influence on myself.
Let's just remember which one of us is the rogue of the campaign.
Well, you do say that, but technically, out of all of us, you're probably in the best position to actually try it.
Yes.
That is valid, you know.
Yes.
Kind of brings me into taking one for the team, but
I mean, if I ever book an acting job where I have to be in front of a green screen, then maybe I'll try it. It might get me fired, but
It depends what you're doing, I guess.
Well, get fired and then do it, because then they can't fire you again.
That's very true. Yeah, they've already paid me at that point, so.
Unless, of course, you're doing one of your Magic Mike outfits, in which case it'll probably be well received.
And then all of a sudden, in the background, you just hear. Hold on.
Oh God. It's silence.
So he died.
Do you not hear it?
Oh, I can hear that. Yeah.
Oh, carry on.
was that genuine?
It is.
Was that Pony?
It is Pony by Guinea Wines.
I heard this wow, and I was like, "Is that what I think it is?"
It is what you think it is. Yes, it is the.
It only counts if you can do the dance to it.
The staple Magic Mike tune.
Literally is the staple. The funny thing is I've actually auditioned for it, and that is a genuine part of the audition.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's quite something, and I had to freestyle to it, which.
If you didn't hit the Channing Tatum humping on the floor bit, like you've really missed a trick. But that's
that actual move is actually called the Magic Mike drop. It is
magical.
It was called something else originally. I can't remember what it was called. It was called something else originally, and then because it became a staple of Magic Mike, it then became the Magic Mike drop.
Well, they are accurate. It does go downwards.
Yeah. it's quite something to do at the same time, especially when you're really pumped up to do this fucking audition and you do the infamous magic mic drop and almost headbutt the floor.
Oof.
Gorgeous.
Or multiple times
you
actually
just
headbutt the
do
floor.
too much.
Graceful.
I couldn't. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. I jumped really high and then didn't realize how high I jumped and was like, "Oh shit!" And then as I went to put my hands to the floor, was like, "I'm really far away still."
Which ironically would actually fit in a Magic Mike film.
Yes, it would. Yes.
Well, I've got visions of his Magic Mike's wife doing the Magic Mike drop. She does it, doesn't she?
I
Yes.
forgot what we were doing. What
Yeah,
were
so,
we doing?
if Marilla marries Docker, then that means that Marilla will need to do the dance better than Josh does, because of
Oh,
because
God,
of how
no.
how Channing
Because
Tatum's
that's how
wife
it goes
did all
down
lip sync.
in lip sync battle, without a doubt.
It makes me laugh the fact that now Morella and Docker have been shipped together and nothing's even come from it yet. It makes me laugh.
You started it, we'll finish it.
Docker will finish it himself, don't you worry.
The dice have already spoken. There's no.
That
there's no
sounds
escaping.
really creepy. I do apologise.
Tiny bit.
One or two.
I meant it in a nice way, kind of. Definitely not in a rapey way.
God, I hope not.
Otherwise, Sean is punching Docker in the throat.
You might go in the water.
Yeah.
We have a pet kraken somewhere. I have the feeling he's following me. He may become food.
We have a pet kraken. Let's use Docker as bait.
Wouldn't be the first time we've used somebody as bait.
That is accurate, actually. We are good at that.
I just remembered that Docker put a hole in Nat's character's hand. I forgot the name of the character now off the top of my head.
Told
Paladin.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, Docker put a hole in her hand.
What? What did I miss when I left last week? What?
She tried.
How
to
did you
steal
guys
out-
do?
She tried to steal something out of Morela's
I
bag.
wasn't
and
Oh,
doing
no,
it
no,
on
no,
purpose.
no,
Docker being Docker decided to throw a knife at it.
I was there, I do recall.
Thing to do when someone tries to steal something.
I was trying to save your boyfriend's life.
Yeah, she was, to be fair, but Docker did not know that at the time.
Well, Docker needs to buy a few brain cells at the next available brain shop.
I'm sure if we
Matt, if we come across a brain shop,
Yeah, I was just about to say, if we come across a brain shop, there is only one person that will be buying a brain from there.
Yeah, but you do realise that this is a world where there are walking brains literally everywhere, as Paladin has proven multiple times.
I'm going to kill one and make Nat eat it and see if it makes her smarter.
For the record, her intelligence is 20.
What?
intelligence is not the same as wisdom.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
It's true.
That is very true, actually.
I did have a moment where I was looking at Matt and I wanted to see what he would say then.
I'll just smile and wave.
You're in a position, Matt, you can either go with talking about my character or me.
I'll stay with the character. The character can't kill me.
Me, on the other hand, and I'm joking.
You do value your ability to speak, right?
No, not really.
Does anybody value their ability to speak?
I like
do.
my own voice.
I suspect
I
as a
like my
DM Matt would
voice.
need to speak.
Not to be that person, but same.
Well, I ain't even apologizing for it.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Hey, Atomics.
Look, there's batteries. Go down.
You're talking really quietly.
Am I? Sorry, it's probably just my breath.
I think she was
No,
really
no.
talking to herself.
Yeah.
Sorry again for taking.
She doesn't want us to think she's mad.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron knows I'm mad. Doesn't need to already think it.
Of course.
Michaeli, would you like to say anything in that regard?
I was ignoring you all. What did you say?
I hate you all. I'm going to ignore you.
I was really.
All of that. I was ignoring you all.
Well, at least you didn't lie about it.
That's very true.
Just straight up, yeah, no, I wasn't listening, guys. That's not even gonna say that might be. It's just
No, really. What was the question?
We're talking about how mad all of us are. So,
Oh, okay. I believe you have to have a certain level of madness to be in this world, especially right now.
You know, that is valid.
I'll give you inspiration for that.
Yes.
We're all mad here.
And David, you also get inspiration for axing first.
Nice. Let's go.
That's not fair because I'll never get
I
inspiration.
didn't get inspiration for axing first last week.
You get inspiration for doing other things.
The Docker didn't get inspiration last week for being axed first.
Yeah, but the offer wasn't then there at the point.
Rocker needs much inspiration.
Okay, but now that everybody is here, Charlotte, do you want to log into Roll20?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I've had the launch game bit open for ages. I just forgot
You know,
to launch
valid.
it.
It was a valid response.
You asked me a question. The answer was no.
That's what Maya said earlier.
Would you like to do this? No, I haven't asked.
You asked Maya to do something earlier and she went, no. It's a good answer to say no, Daddy.
Now you're standing up to the DM. No, be prepared to die.
That's a 5-year-old.
Yeah, but I can just imagine, just put, Morella, can I get a death saving throw from you, please?
No.
No.
Sorry, I'm saying no to God. Try me.
I like
Who
my
said
bet-
I had to
best
die?
one
I
is
think I'm
roll
alive.
fake dice and just shout
Smite
out
me, oh mighty smiter.
Just gonna get a death roll. No. Okay, I just guess you die straight away then.
Just said Frank.
Also
I just
no.
like orange.
Frank just appears. Well, fuck me, I guess.
the underbox is flashing lots of different colours.
I'm assuming someone sat on the controller. Can't be asked to fix it.
I've also just remembered that the consequences for, and I'm going to be really honest here, and I really shouldn't be, but I'm going to be, the consequences of Docker making a wish has not happened yet.
Oh, don't worry. It's
He
there.
always has it
Pending.
planned somewhere. It's pending.
Okay, that's that. I was being really honest, and I'm kind of regret that now.
Oh no,
So
you
you're not going
remember
to get inspiration.
He always gets you when you least expect it or least want the bloody punishment.
This is where Docker is going to wake up, hog-tied, naked, and Frank is going to be stood in front of him.
Oh god.
Oh no, that's next week. But there's a reason why Lumber is no longer in the group.
What?
No, but David and Marilla and Nat can testify to this.
Oh, god.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We could have looked for him sooner.
Didn't
That
we do
was
that
an
to
option.
somebody else they disappeared and then
No, we got
just
told he
before
was
we realised to
safe.
go and look for them.
Yeah, but realistically, we should have known better.
He was fine. He ended up in jail with us.
Yeah, but where did he before that?
He had a very good time.
Oh no.
I don't think we should take Frank's word for anything.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That could be our bad.
Okay, so first off, Charlotte, did you manage to find those notes?
Nope.
Okay, so so the plan was to backtrack a little bit because I know some of you had some questions to ask the alphas and stuff, which you weren't able to last session for various reasons. So if you remember what those questions were, I'll backtrack a little bit so that you can ask them during this travel sequence.
Cool.
I think most of mine I got answered because it was mostly just regarding the dream stuff. Don't think I had anything else I wanted to speak to the authors about. But it's been a while.
Anything from anyone else?
Which alphas do we have with us?
Scott, Jason, Stick.
I can imagine you saying that out loud.
And me! My pulse are defibrillators.
Who are we actually travelling
Oh,
with?
God.
Who are all these strange people? I brought my Kelly's.
Are any of them clerics?
So Scott basically just turns around, and he actually turns around in the saddle, so he's now facing backwards. And he said, well, Clarissa is particularly religious, so she kind of counts as the cleric as our group, but no, none of us are clerics. But Stick over there is technically a paladin, but he's a homebrew paladin, as opposed to anything official.
Yeah. Okay. And did you say Clarissa is with us, Matt?
No, Clarissa isn't with
No. Right, okay. I want to speak to Clarissa, so no.
you.
I'm a paladin and a cleric.
I was about to say I thought Morena was a cleric.
I'm a cat.
I'm actually a cleridan.
Yeah. But now
I would have went with Paloric.
Or a Paladin.
Docker is now slightly scared to talk to you because of his feelings, and also does not want to get into his history with you. So that's why he wants to speak to an alpha.
Anybody else, please?
Anybody else?
Please don't make me talk to my girlfriend.
Internal screaming.
If you're a Cleridon, I'm a Pterodon.
Oh no,
no.
please no, we don't.
As this little pterodactyl, the size of a bat, just flaps around you.
Oh,
Pterodactyl.
It must be so cute.
Oh my god, I love pterodactyl so much.
When did you see it?
Pterodactyl.
No.
Side note, I now have a question for Scott. Where do we get a pterodactyl, and where can I get one?
Yes, please. I too would like it. That's not how you spell. How do you spell pterodactyl?
It's with
It's got the P.
Well, I've got Pterodon, which is Pteradon.
Thank you.
Docker becomes
I-
frightened and punches it.
I want a pterodactyl, please.
No, Morella, you can't have one.
Let us add to the menagerie.
That's so mean of you.
I know.
If ever there is a point where you want a creature, and you know Kashan is 100% on board with you, any given moment.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, new map. Look at the little pterodactyl. It's so cute.
God.
It's really...
There's so many people to rob here.
Oh no.
There's always that one guy.
We can't just have a nice time.
You won't make
Why
sure
can't
to the rogue of the group.
Why can't we visit a fishing village and not instantly wonder about, hey, look, it's a red paladin. Fuck them.
Let's go kill the Republic.
Let's kill them.
No, please, guys.
You should not have told me there's red paladins there, because, yeah.
Please. I just want to cross the water.
I cover your eyes. You're now blind.
Oh yes, but I see you won't hurt me.
Okay, so
That is something, right?
okay, so
Not
sort of
direct.
pre you entering this area. So as the journey progresses through the morning, your vision is obscured by a fog that stops you from seeing anything defined outside of 10-foot radius.
Huh?
Well, isn't that
However, this doesn't appear to be anything particularly sinister, as after a few hours of travelling, the fog just naturally clears, and the path is made clear. However, the definitive signs of dew and moisture line the area, the rocks outlining the roads are slick with water, and the trees are sprinkling with a slight drizzle.
Trees are crying.
So as you progress along the road, this was basically the point where you would ask your questions. Paladin's still just playing with his book, and Stick is just continuing to fly overhead. As the day ebbs away into the afternoon, and later into the evening, you can see the outline of a village in the distance against the sunset. The sound of seabells and seagulls can be heard as you close in, and the smell of sea salt becomes unmistakable. Eventually you come to the village itself. The village itself doesn't seem to have walls, but at the road is a wooden archway, similar to the one that those of you who were there saw at the port of Aqua Veda. Hanging from the arch are 4 men who appear to have been hung that very morning. Each one has a plaque nailed to their chest, and each one reads, in a different language, "Vikings, ye be warned."
Oh look, they hung my dinner out.
Are they Viking bodies?
Can I get perception from you?
You can give us a second to get my dice, and then you can get perception from it.
No, you can't.
Well, in that case, I have an apology. No,
Viking
no.
jerky.
6. I get +3, so 19.
Okay. But the thing about Vikings is that there's no sort of like uniform. So there's no like sort of uniform armor for them. Basically, Vikings just pick up whatever they can get and make do with it. However, you can tell by the fact they've got like war paint, tattoos, generally the facts of their general attire of beards and stuff like that. You can tell that these aren't Saxons, like the British, but they are Viking-esque, if that makes sense.
So I can't discern a sort of faction or anything, but I can take this one.
But normally, you do know from your experience with Vikings that generally the identifying factor of who a Viking's allegiance is to is through their shield. Their shields have been taken away. Okay, so you wanted to take a bite out of the...
I'm just going to go see if I can pull a piece off to take with me.
Sure.
You know, bit of Viking jerky never hurt anybody.
Okay, so Tordum is going to put, climb on top of...
Tordum.
He's going to climb on top of...
Tordum.
Kushan's obviously standing
Kushan.
close reading it, so I'm going to stand on Kushan's head and try and pull a piece.
Don't try and eat the bodies in public.
And she's just going to take a big bite out of one of the bodies and gain a hit point from it.
Hey!
I am deeply distressed and do not condone this.
Ooh, can I do that too?
No.
Why have we got a T-Rex with us?
I'm a T-Rex.
What?
Can I eat a hand?
No.
Bit of high in protein.
That
No.
is beside the point. I think.
No means no, Paladin.
Bear in mind that so Padwin's enlargement spell from the morning has worn off, so he's back to being kitten size. He's now a T-Rex that is still kitten size.
No, take me home.
He's the definition of ankle biter.
Oh,
Can I
ankle!
pick Padwin up and put him on my shoulder?
Yay! What do I do?
You can guarantee he's going to steal
I'll just
your
keep him
knives
there.
again.
He's mine now.
Ooh, what's this?
What
What's your passive perception, Docker?
Oh God.
Please don't tell me the T-Rex has a knife.
No, he's probably got a grenade. Teeny tiny
I'm less,
hands is holding a
I'm less
grenade.
concerned about the grenade, considering the collection that I currently have in my possession.
Okay, so but you very defensively feel this T-Rex head digging around in your bag, and so you've very much detected him trying to go through your bag. Are you going to do anything about it?
Oh, would Docker do something about it, or would he just let him rummage?
You put him
Do you
I
have a
suspect
grenade on
he
you?
would
Do
do
not let him get a
something soon as
grenade.
I got
I
a
don't
hold
think
in
I
my
have a
hand
grenade
for
on me, no.
rummaging through
There
my
is
brother's
This
pocket.
thing for grenades.
I have a wide arsenal of weapons though.
I can see that.
I will pull Padwin's head out and give him a light tap on the nose and say, "No, naughty Padwin,"
Ah!
and then I will put him back on my shoulder and I will go, "Stay."
No.
DM says no.
Oh, Padwin, I love you and hate you both at the same time.
I'm Skull.
Be a good boy, Padwin. Oh, God. Do you know what? Padwin, run free. Go for it.
Don't give him that sort of freedom,
He's gone. He's already gone.
George.
I'm a thing that went wrong.
Oh.
I'm not sure if he's talking about himself or what he's turned into.
No, me neither.
Both of these are saddening.
Even Docker is sad at this. What is going on?
What does the thing that went wrong look like? Out of sheer
Chimera.
curiosity.
Can I get a nature check from you, please?
Oh, I'm not very in nature.
I want to do a nature check just for the hell of it at this point.
It's not
Right.
like you've got someone in your party whose definition of character is nature. Isn't that right, Trin?
No, not at all. Why would I be associated with such things, huh? Oh god. Okay, I'll do a roll, but I think the dice will hate me because they've been on a hating streak recently.
I got a 9.
15.
Let's roll. D20. Yeah. Okay, we'll roll the duck dice. What is my nature? Oh, it's +1. Oh dear.
It's
Yeah.
more than I have.
I had +2.
My Totem has
Okay.
+5, but
What?
I would've
Totem
been
was more
yelling
interested in
anything.
eating the bodies, so.
Distressing.
Okay.
So
I got an
distressing.
18, so that's not too bad.
okay, you recognise this as a chimera.
Oh boy.
Can I?
I'll explain that to the group. That is a chimera, you know, like, this is a lot of fun. Gods, when did you see this? When did you meet one?
How did you?
I didn't want one.
Follow-up question, Scott. Where do I get one?
Follow-up question. I agree with Kashan. I know that's not a question, but
Following up on that follow-up.
following up on that follow-up of the follow-up,
Please,
Oh
guys.
my god.
You don't need a
please,
camera.
please find me a chimera.
right. No, we don't need a chimera.
Not while
You
we're
are-
on the road, yeah?
You are completely correct that we do
Sure.
not need a chimera, but we
I
also
want-
didn't need
I
any of the
want
creatures
a
we've adopted so far.
Hey, we can get them when we're back and settled back. Right now, we're on the road, so it's going to be a hassle looking after one, right?
I was gonna say my grandchild
know
might not be
what-
happy.
Okay, right.
We did
Given
just
the
adopt a
issues-
tiefling though.
True.
Given the issues that we had with Squishy, understandable. I will wait until we have somewhere to put it.
I was gonna say, can we also remember that after we're down here, or wherever we're gonna go fight a bunch of undead. We do not need a baby chimera to be holding on to at the same time.
I
You
wasn't
all got
thinking-
pets and friends. I want one.
Maybe we'll get one
Right, hold
eventually.
on.
We have
Follow up.
Padwin for the time being.
Following
Right,
up,
Doka
I
wants
was
a
not
friend.
considering
Can I
a baby
give him
chimera.
a-
Tell me that thing doesn't look like it can breathe fire, and tell me that wouldn't be helpful against undead.
I can breathe fire
Oh
See?
no.
when I
See?
sneeze.
See?
But I can help against undead. So if you get a chimera, you don't need me. And so
We always need you.
you're making it sound like you don't if you get a chimera. This is my argument.
None of you need me anyway, but I'm just here for the giggles.
This is really toxic now. It's me or the chimera.
Exactly. I
Oh my
want you
God.
to say to me. Yeah.
That was a really short-lived relationship, Miranda.
Oh my god! Guys, please! Let's not split the
Where
house.
are we exactly? Like,
Yeah, where are we?
scoping out the entrance of this town. Where?
Yeah, just casually talking underneath 4 corpses. That one of them is mysteriously missing a leg now.
Not our
Whole
problem.
leg?
Not
What?
our problem.
Right.
No one told me to
Problem.
stop or get down.
Yeah, you need to
I'm
see
just
it
trying to
happen.
sit on Krishan's head eating a body.
So the
Did anyone
chimera
see
is just
it?
go fly around the group, and he's going to perch himself specifically on McKelly's horns.
What about it?
Interesting choice, but okay.
The horns in his head, Dogger.
Oh right. Yeah. Those horns. Okay.
Clarification necessary? Question.
Whee!
Clarification always necessary.
Okay. Right. I've forgotten where I was in this bit. Okay. Okay, so the guards who have witnessed everything that has just happened here don't do anything to acknowledge you whatsoever, but they
That
are
is probably for the best.
but they are indicating to you guys that because of the narrowness of the street, etc., it's probably best that people dismount from their horses, which the alphas pick up on, having also ignored everything that you guys have said, and they all begin to walk the horses. So, those of you who have in your background that you're native to the Clinging Isles, you guys know that this is the village of Portsmouth.
Docker has no knowledge of anything, so he has no idea where he is.
Okay. This basically appears to be the main naval yard for Northwick. And even at this very late hour, given that it's the sun setting, etc., the place seems still seems very busy with trade, military personnel, and just people going around their daily business. Scott and Jason seem to know their way, and they lead you guys through the village streets until you get to this area, the seaport proper. As you enter the main square, you can hear the sounds of someone shouting. The pointy-eared demons walk amongst us. The enemy is here. We must act now before we are overrun by the vermin invaders. The Preds plagues through our streets. We cannot sit idly by while this pox infests our society. Listen to me, people. There is a terrible scourge sweeping these lands. Heed our warning before it is too late.
The Red Paladins were the scourge that was plaguing the land.
I want to do something dumb.
Bear in mind,
Docker's
Paladin.
already way ahead of you.
Well, Paladin is sitting on McKelly's head, so he's right next to you. So he's like, "Ooh, what are you gonna do?"
So where is this guy preaching?
Some high quality echo you got going there.
Let's try and fix that.
And Docker completely push his way through everybody and unsheath Morad's silver longsword and point it at him.
Oh, that's not what I was going to do on level of stupid. I am stupid.
I told you Docker's way ahead of you. And he's not going to say a word, he's just going to point it at him.
Okay, so in a very sort of like nonchalant way, there is somebody sort of listening to this speech, but you can tell there's not at all to her liking. The irony is that this Red Paladin and the guys around him are actually standing on crates of bottles of wine, which this person seems to have been in the process of doing something with, but now just simply can't, and is just taking advantage of the fact that she can take a break.
What a pragmatic guy.
You guys can all see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What was the stupid thing that you were going to do?
I was gonna walk up to them and be like, yes, the demon invasion happening in Minas Tirith, right?
Do it.
I shall storm on up to them. It is, and be like, excuse me, I hope you mean this demon invasion being the one with Minneseptas, right?
Ah,
Come
knife
on,
here!
that's terrible.
Knife here! The scourge is here, people! The scourge is among us! It is right there!
You're on about me.
Now that's not very nice.
So this
Stabs the nearest one.
I was going to draw my axe and say I hope the scourge you're talking about is the Red Paladins. Not going to say this.
I mean, I'm sorry, they've just insulted Morella. What did you expect was going to happen?
There's guards right there.
Okay, so a number of things are going to happen at this point. So, A, the person who is attempting to work is simply going to walk away.
Just accepts it.
For some unknown reason, Padwin turns into a coral sea snake.
Right.
Right.
Scott is then just simply going to pick him up, turn to Jason, Scott, and George, and simply says, "Do you guys want to get a drink?"
Valid.
Yeah.
And then Docker stabs said priest.
Can I attempt to block the view of the guards from seeing said stabbing?
Are you talking about these guys up here?
Yes.
You can if you want. So first off, Docker, can I get your attack, please?
Yes, you may.
Now, have you attuned to Murad's sword?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
That will be 22.
22 to hit, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so that hits.
And then 1d8 and then 1d10, is that right?
Right, so... Right, so it's a d8 if you use it in one hand, a d10 if you use it in two hands.
I'll be using it in two hands.
Okay.
Which one's my d10? This one. Oh god.
It's the one that looks like a spinning top.
I got it. That is a 7.
Okay, so 7 damage. Okay.
And then do I get to roll again for necrotic damage?
Yeah, once I've got this working, bear with me. Okay, so 7 damage from the slash. Can you also apply your sneak attack damage?
I see it coming.
What is my sneak attack damage? Oh, 5d6. Jesus Christ.
Okay, he's dead.
How did you see it coming?
That's why you expected it.
What did you expect?
Ironically, exactly this. I've made a point of working out all of the XP from killing these red paladins just on principle.
Have we become predictable?
The red paladins and they insulted you. What did you expect Docker to do?
Not this. Actually, I should have.
I mean, I don't know what else I expected, alright? Like, I mean, I expected this to be the outcome, but I didn't expect you to straight up stab in the middle of the street. like, just there and then, yup.
3, 6, 9, 11, 12 sneak damage.
Okay, and then if you could apply your necrotic damage.
Which is 3d10s.
Oh,
Wow,
This has gone well for us, hasn't it?
that very much depends on the outcome of
1, 2, 3. Jesus Christ. 8 plus 9 is 17, plus 6 is 23.
Okay. In the context of all of this guy had 27 health.
no!
Oh, fucking hell.
I basically almost killed him with just my necrotic damage.
So you stab up into his gut, and he like bends over like mid-speech, and it's like and then as you pull the sword out, he like takes a step back and is like, just as my character was getting interesting, I had a well-laid backstory as well. And he just falls backwards and falls off the crate down into the dog below. Can I get initiative from you all, please?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Ooh, that's a natural 20.
You are welcome, everybody.
Okay, so you said
21.
21 for Kashan. I'm adding you one at a time, so this might take a minute. Michele, can I get yours?
It's 18.
Oh, yes.
18. Docker, can I get yours?
22. For once, the roll has done me well.
Marilla, can I get yours?
21 as well. I rolled a natural 20.
See, this is what you need to start doing, guys. Just initiate random murder sprees, and then you get good initiative rolls.
Is that how it works?
You're
I
welcome,
didn't
everyone.
initiate any random murder spree, thank you.
Onyx, can I get yours?
I'm putting it partly without your fault.
That is a 13.
13, okay.
You gave him a gift and now he's like this.
And then Tordum gets 15.
It's all Morela's fault.
Just, I mean, that's right. Blame it on the elf. You're no better than
Oh,
them.
jeez. I knew exactly where that was going. The moment that sentence
I
started.
see. No, it's fine. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. I don't care. Go die. I won't heal you.
Okay.
Just right, you and I both know that I need that. Man is trying to kill me actively at this point.
The weird thing is that ages ago, whenever I started doing DM, I was desperate to find out how everything would work, and I bought a book called The Monsters Know What They're Doing,
Oh god.
which is basically an encyclopedia on how all of the creatures in D&D should fight, and pretty much every single one of them, their strategy is, if it's big, it dies first.
Yeah, that's right.
So in the sort of 6 seconds for stab to happen to combat initiating, George basically says to everybody else, might we adjourn over here and make wagers upon their performance? And Jason's like, yes, let's. And the alphas also like, just go over here.
Alright, George, let's see how it is.
Okay.
Much help from the alphas.
No, we don't need it for paladins.
And so, Docker, having murdered somebody, it is now your turn again.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm going to attack the nearest red paladin, which is the one right in front of Morela.
Are we going to have one of those situations where you like stab her through her arm and through some weird entanglement the two of you are somewhat embracing?
Yes, we are. Yes, that is right.
Why would you prompt that?
Enough, am I meant to cast a spell now?
So, you doing anything tonight?
God.
No, can't get off him.
No.
So what's a place like you doing and a guy like this?
That is actually something I would imagine Doc is saying because he's going to get himself mixed up.
It's my top pickup line. It's genuinely a line I have used.
What's the success rate?
It worked. I'm now in a relationship and have been for 9 months almost.
I love that.
What a move. Love it.
That's all you had to do. I had to write an entire book to get Nasty to go on a date with me.
Okay, there's like a long more backstory. I've simplified the story. We'd also been married since the October before we got together.
Okay.
I have so many questions.
I don't know how that works.
Oh, in my flat last year at uni,
Drastically same.
we were all third years, other than 2 of them who were first years, and one of them got back really late at night, and we'd been playing some poker. And me and my partner joked, being like, "Where have you been? We've been worried sick. Look at your mother. She's on the wine," because I was drinking out of a fancy glass. And from that moment, we'd been married.
Wait. So, in order to get married, all you had to do was play poker with underage first years.
And drink out of a fancy glass.
Yeah.
Your marriage sounds so much simpler than anything I ever imagined.
I reckon I would like that.
Where do I? Right, okay. I need to
Where
go
do I
back
sign?
The marriage contract.
Oh god.
I didn't realise that it was Sheldon Cooper.
But when you say contract, is this more like official or more 50 Shades of Grey style contract?
Oh no.
Official, no, 50 Shades. This is not Frank's story.
This is
Might help a little
This
bit.
is not a Twilight fan fiction. We will not be going there.
This
We're
murder.
about to enter a fight and here we are about Twilight fan fictions and contracts, bro.
Again,
This murder spree has taken a turn.
How do you know this?
9/11 caused 50 Shades of Grey.
No, please. God.
I have so many more questions.
I'll type it out. Carry on the combat.
I actually got a 19, so that's 25 to hit.
But I legitimately forgot what you were doing. So
No, where have I put my D10? Oh, it's that.
Oh yeah, we're in combat.
Oh yeah. That's 6 slashing damage.
okay.
And
You also
then-
get sneak attack because Morela's next to you.
Oh, okay. So let's do my sneak attack. Oh fuck me! This guy's gonna die straight away as well. 6 plus 5 is 11. Plus 4 is 15. 3 is 18. Plus 2 is 20.
No, hold on. Right, so that's 15, so minus another 5. Okay. That did help him a lot, but he's still standing.
I've still got necrotic damage to go.
Okay.
Oh, I've just dropped my D10. That's no good. 12, 13 necrotic damage.
Okay. He definitely didn't like that, but he is still alive.
Damn. Can I bonus action?
Yeah, there's a number of bonus actions you could do.
If I've used the sword in 2 hands, I can't have anything in my other hand, can I?
No.
Right, okay. Then I will... Where am I? I'm right there. I will... Will you allow me to push Morela out the way?
It's more a question of if Morela allows herself to be pushed
Ooh.
out of the way.
Man's getting
Hold on. Before I say that, are we doing the whole entanglement situation, or are we not doing that?
I want to know how, like, if we're doing the entangled, I need to know like how entangled are we doing, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, like front to front, shooting at the other sides of each other, or what's
Only slightly entangled, given I'm right in, by you. Because I'm probably getting ready to cast something or something else. So yeah, probably like a little bit.
Okay, so I would imagine that as Docker attacks, he will in some way, shape, or form accidentally end up face to face with Morela afterwards,
It's covered in blood.
covered in blood, and with his sword at his chest, and we'll kind of look at you and go, "Oh hi," and then push you out the way.
Oh. I'm probably too dazed by how quick everything's happened to really react. Just know I ain't happy about it.
So it's less you get shoved, it's more you just storm off in a huff.
A bit of both. Sort of like I get pushed and like, fine, I see. Boys with their toys.
I'm protecting you.
See, I saw that. I felt that as more of a Morela's response being, I didn't need protecting.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
100%.
You go, girl. He disappears again.
Slay.
Cheyenne Twain starts playing.
Okay, so is that your turn done then, Docker?
Yeah, so I think I'll be standing in front of Morela now, if I've pushed her out of the way.
Okay, I won't move you on the board, but
For reference, oh my god, I can't fucking speak. Jesus Christ. For future reference, yeah.
okay, right. So Kashan, you're up.
All right. First things first.
I'm the realist.
Second thing second. She definitely doesn't need you protecting her like that.
No, she definitely doesn't.
Does.
Okay.
Can I register whether or not the guards are at all interested in anything that's happened?
Give me perception, please.
21.
Okay, but you can tell that these aren't, guards. You know that in Northwick, the guards have a very specific uniform, and these aren't that.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. But the guy who appears to be leading them is dressed up very much as a knight, as opposed to just another mercenary or another soldier, that sort of thing. He's very, very decoratively different from the rest of them. You can also see under his helmet, because he's got a very prominent moustache, he's considerably older.
Okay. Do they look at all bothered about the fact that a dude's just been stabbed?
They're not screaming out like murderer or you stop. They're literally just nonchalantly moving towards you guys.
Okay.
But
Well,
you're-
if it doesn't...
So what did you get on your perception?
21.
Okay. You can also tell that as they're moving towards you, they're not moving towards you guys, they're just heading in that direction.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm not going to run interference just yet. I'm going to head over to this fella here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to take a swing at him with my blood axe.
Alright.
Does a 22 hit?
Yeah, it is.
Great. 12, and how much product is it? 1d6. Right, so that is 7, so 15, 17. So 17 normal damage.
Yep.
And where are all my 6? Oh, they're underneath all of the stack of those. And 4 necrotic.
Alright. So that's your first action.
And then I'm going to do it again. I enjoyed it so much the first time. Ooh, there's a 19 there?
Yep.
Great. Well, in that case, that is 9, 16, 18 damage on the normal, 3 on the necrotic.
Okay. Like the other guy, he is very hurt, but still alive.
Okay, that's fine.
Anything as bonus?
That's what I'm thinking about. Give me a second. Give me a second. Just a quick one. Not right now. We're kind of enclosed, so I don't need to use my giant's might. We're not in a very large area. I don't want to come too big just yet. I'm gonna hold an action as a. Actually, you know what? Can I try and intimidate him into changing his ways? Like, I always try to be at least a little bit productive in these side of things. Just say he shouldn't be as he shouldn't be insulting elves like he is. It's not very nice.
Okay.
What if I called him around here?
Sure, if you want. Do that as your actual bonus action.
Yep, that's fine. I get an advantage on intimidation, which is what I'm going for. 17?
Okay, so given that this guy has just been corked into oblivion, and is now got a very angry looking bearded dragon just staring down at him, he is just going to immediately cut and run. So you get an attack of opportunity against him. Do you want to take it?
No, I gave him the opportunity. I'm not going to cut him down instantaneously.
Okay, so he is basically just going to run, and he is... see if he is watching where he's going. No, he's not, and runs straight into McKelly.
Oh, come on!
Okay, so he is basically just going to run straight into you, bounce off you, and is now prone.
Ooh.
Okay, so, Marela. Marela.
Okay, I was muted.
No.
Cool. I've just realised I've had a cantrip that's really useful and I've never used before. And I'm an idiot for it. I'm
Prestidigitation.
going to cast a guidance on myself.
Oh.
I forgot I had this. I've been watching a lot of Critical Role lately. I'm like, I have that.
Nice.
I'm going to cast guidance on myself. And then I would like sort of shout out to everyone, mostly directed at like the alphas, like our gang, being like, hey, stop it. If we attack them for no reason, we are no better than them.
I don't feel like it's for no reason, but it's not my turn to say that.
And then Marela immediately takes everything back. She's like, that's a good point, ignore me.
I don't know if I need to do like a check or anything with that to persuade people.
Not PvP. But if people want to be persuaded by that, then no, then they're just persuaded by it.
Okay.
Do people want
And
to be
that's my
persuaded
go.
by
I'm
it?
not moving. I'm proving a point.
You're putting your foot down.
Yep.
And in doing so, she stamps on Docker's foot.
Unarmed strike, please.
What was that?
Unarmed strike from Marela, please.
This is the best way this could have gone.
Charlotte, have you muted yourself again?
Sorry, my thing broke up slightly. What did you say?
Unarmed strike, please.
Oh no, no. Oh goodness. Oh
It's
goodness.
stamped on my foot.
Oh goodness. Ooh. Oh. I know.
That's a
I
very like, different set of who's and us. Ooh, oh.
I can't do maths. 9
You can do it.
plus 15.
That hits me, yeah.
Okay, you take 3 bludgeoning damage.
I'm so sorry.
Dope.
Okay, so is that your turn done?
Aye.
Okay. So, before we go to Michele, Docker,
Yes.
can I get a dexterity saving throw from you, please?
Oh, fuck off. Do not docker me again. I swear to God. That is an 18.
Okay. You are able to step out of the way as a Zana-shaped blob falls out of the sky, lands where you were, and then immediately disappears.
What was it?
What?
Okay, so for the sake of context for Michele, in the fight that they were in before you joined the team, Docker made a wish for the foe Zana to be pulled down to his location by Frank.
Oh.
Oh, what did you do?
Is this gonna keep happening?
I hope so.
Charlotte!
You started a fight that I did not need protecting.
That is, you are
Yeah.
getting all of the sass and you deserve it.
Get crushed. See if I care.
You
Okay,
will
so,
have.
so Barakas, it's now your turn. The first turn for you in combat, I believe. Michele?
Yes, I was muted, guys. I'm very sorry. Classic.
I'm sorry, I was ignoring you all.
No, this time I was listening. So, this guy that is in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
right, it is prone, right? So
Yep.
it's laid down on the floor.
Yep.
So in the most sassy way, I'm gonna pull up my cape to make some space. With my hands in the pocket, look down on him, and I cast suggestion. I gonna tell him to go for a swim, and I'm gonna call a little duck as well.
Okay, right. Okay, he doesn't need to do a wisdom save or anything, does he? No, wisdom save. Wait. He needs to beat your wisdom of 18, yeah?
Yes, in wisdom team.
And he is not wise at all.
Yes.
Okay, right. So that has been applied to him. Would you like to do anything else?
No.
Okay, so it is now the Red Paladin's turn. And so the Red Paladin that was suggested is going to do immediately that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's immediately just going to go straight into the water and start quacking like a dog.
Beautiful.
Okay, so the Red Paladin, who is still standing, is going to... What the hell's my d20? There we are. Is going to attack Docker. Where is it? Does the 12 hit you?
No.
Yeah, okay, so that's the first one missed, and then... Does the 15 hit you?
Yes. Can I uncanny dodge it, please?
Yes, sure, let me do the damage. Okay, so that's 4 damage, so total down to 2.
Yes.
Okay, this one, bear with me. This one is going to be very scared of the situation and is going to try and run. 2, 3. He's going to run straight into the werewolf.
Pussy.
So Scott is very specifically going to just stick out his foot and trip this guy up. So he is now prone. And that is the Red Paladin's turn. So now it's Tordon. Nestle has gone to do some overtime work, so I shall get her to do a level 2 catapult at the
Fire.
one in front of her. It failed dex save, so it gets full damage of... Okay, this guy is dead. So it just sort of loads up a little rock, which goes soaring threads the needle perfectly between Doco and Morella, and just knocks this guy straight in the forehead, and just makes him fall over and smacks his head on the crate, and it's the smacking of the crate that actually kills him.
Sniper.
Okay, Onyx, it's your turn.
I didn't want to be part of any of this, so I'm opting not to fight because this is not my drama. This is not my problem. I'm not here for it.
Well, I didn't know it
Onyx
was
is
really
still
like.
thinking about the Chimera.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll have my action ready in case like things go terribly within the span of a few seconds, and I'll just be ready to like shoot if I need to. But otherwise, I'm not doing anything.
Okay. So in that case, Docker, it's your turn again.
Docker is going to walk straight over to this Red Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
When he's prone, is he on his front or his back?
In this case, he's on his front.
Can I flip him over?
Okay. So you turn him over and you see that he's barely older than 15.
Ooh.
So Docker is going to point his sword at this paladin's throat and is going to say, "Apologise to my nice friend, please."
Sorry, one sec. It's alright, Baba. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. There we go. Shh. Shh. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Sorry, I've got a baby tangled up in a blanket.
It's okay.
Here we are. There we go. Is that better? Okay. So, sorry. What did you say, Tim?
He's going to point Murad's sword at his throat and he's going to say, "Apologise to my nice friend, please."
And so he immediately looks at you and looks at everybody else. But unfortunately, you're standing in between him and Morella. So he's like, "I don't know which one that is."
He's gonna stand slightly out of the way, still pointing his sword at him, and point towards Morella and go, "My nice friend right here."
She doesn't look like she wants apologising to.
I don't care. She doesn't look like she wants apologising to. I'm telling you to apologise to her.
Alright, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Off you go.
But just like that?
Do you want to die?
Okay, I'm going. So he gets up and he's like, right. He goes this way. Just generically just running off in a random direction. So congratulations, guys. You've won your second murder spree of the game.
I'm so proud. Wow.
Yeah, same.
Why? Why? Just why, guys? We're here to leave the country like in one piece.
Okay, so you guys gain 516 XP from that.
Oh god.
Was it?
516 was it?
Yeah, 516.
Nice.
Okay, so the guy in the sea, but it's very clear that he can't swim. So if that's something that anybody wants to give a crap about, then
I'm gonna go save him.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm
Come on.
gonna jump in and I'm gonna go save the guy.
And you swim?
Can I get athletics for me,
Probably.
please?
Oh,
I grew up on
gosh.
an island. It would make sense if I can swim, right?
Really?
Yeah, it's fine. I still have guidance on myself, so I get to add a D4 to this. So
Do you still have all the
Oh, no.
Do you still have all the horse food in your inventory?
okay, fine. It doesn't matter because I rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
Oh, look at that.
So that's 22. That's my second nat 20 of the game.
Okay, so you pull him out, quite easily, without any sort of help from anybody else. This guy here is literally just watching this whole situation. He doesn't lift a finger to help you as he's just sweeping the dog. But as
Let's
soon
not forget that he's still quacking, yeah?
Yep. So he's quacking, and as soon as you pull him out, he's attempting to get back into the water.
Oh dear.
Oh, this is fun.
How long does suggestion last?
8 hours.
I guess we have a new friend. A little bit. I don't wanna. I am not letting you drown this guy.
Oh,
You guys
Yeah, let it be. He needs to learn the hard way.
there's something very specific of like that I'm trying to think of where he's like, no, no, no. Like, and that's not what I picture Marilla do with this guy. We're just gonna carry on with the rest of our day for the next 8 hours and every single moment. This guy's gonna just be trying to jump in the water. No.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it, guys.
Don't you do it.
So Scott basically comes over to you, and he just sort of drops down to this area. He says, well, there is a theory that throwing people into deep water is the way that you teach them how to swim.
What's that?
Can I attempt to help Marilla and like, is there like a post or something I can tie him to?
Yeah, there's various posts around this. I haven't included them in the map, but they're the things that you would tie a boat to.
Is there anything sort of further up? Just in case.
Yeah, there's chunks of the wall which are missing. Like it's done as the walls that you get at driveways where you got like a flat brick bit, then a raised part that's got a pointed bit on top of it. It's basically like that.
Okay. Can I? Oh yeah. Can I attempt to see if he like attempts to escape, or if I like a rope around the waist would be enough to sort of stop him?
Okay. So are you tying him up and then checking?
Yeah. So I'm gonna like I'm gonna like put like a rope around his waist and tie and like then attach the other end of the rope like to like a bit of wall or something to see if he just continues to walk away or if he tries to like undo the rope. And if he tries to undo the rope, I'll just tie his whole body up attached to said wall.
Okay. So he is immediately, as soon as he's freed of your grasp, he's attempting to just simply go back into the water. He doesn't seem to acknowledge the fact that he's got a rope attached around him.
Great. That's
So he's
fine.
basically like a dog on a lead trying to...
Yeah, perfect. Alright, cool. Well, in that case, I'll not restrain him too heavily. I'll just, Yep.
Another way to finish the spell is just to harm him.
Absolutely. Does
Sure,
slapping
I'll
them on the
punch
face work?
Right. There's,
Yeah, if you say non-lethally, surely.
I mean, just give him a big bitch slap.
Yeah, you just backhand him.
Do it. Go, boss.
I'm sure a little slap on the face won't hurt the guy too much.
Don't punish him.
And, nah, it needs to be a big one. It needs to do a big slap.
I'm gonna.
I've always found that suggestion, this is Scott talking, suggestion is often broken with a nice kick to the jewels.
Oh, God.
I
I'm gonna
volunteer.
slap him around the face.
What was that? Sorry, Charlotte?
I'm gonna slap him round the face. Not Scott, the guy tied up.
Ah, yes, take on the alphas, yeah.
There is actually a mechanic for people who try to punch Scott in the face. Just so you know.
Oh god, that's not a concern at all.
That is something I will find out about eventually.
I am going for it.
Okay. Because he's in the state that he's in, I'll just say it's an automatic hit.
Weird.
So how much damage do your unarmed strikes do?
3.
Okay.
If I kill him, I'm gonna be heartbroken.
You didn't take any damage, so I don't think you will.
Okay, good.
So he is now broken from this this spell. He's like, what happened? Why am I wet? Knife here.
Hello, you went for a swim. My friends don't like your attitude to me, and so they acted rashly. They do not reflect me and the other elves. I don't like you. I don't like the way you talk about me or my people. We've done you no harm. So take it as a mercy that I saved you. They would have let you drown or starve to death or even killed you like they have to some of your friends.
And Padwin the snake, who's sitting on Scott's shoulder, then pipes up, "Daddy, look, that person's coat is melting."
Oh dear Lord.
Oh no.
Whose coat is melting?
It's a thing. It was a Christmas thing. I'm very sad that I didn't got to experience it. Oh no.
I'm really pissed off at the recording.
Oh dear. Yeah, Padman said that Santa's coat was bleeding after the sleigh fell on top of him. It was the blood pooling out of his body.
Just
Yeah.
On that note, yes, I would have killed you.
Unrightly so would have killed you. So take it as a mercy and get on with your day.
So the guy basically pulls himself up to his feet, sees the dead guy next to him, and is like, "We will be avenged, elf. Understand that." He then struts up the stairs and immediately sees a tiefling and a dragonborn.
For the record, I would have killed you too, but I didn't start.
And what of you, devil?
Excuse me?
Okay, he's going to attempt to shoulder past you guys. Are you going to try and stop him?
I mean, if he tries to, actively push me out of the way, he's not gonna. But if he just wants to walk past, that's fine.
Okay. So he then leaves as well. Okay, so going by previous activities, I'm assuming Docker will want to loot their bodies.
Yeah, of course.
Which one are you looting?
The priest.
Okay. He doesn't appear to have much on him. Yeah. No, that's a normal red paladin.
I'm not looting him for items of interest, if that makes sense, rather than money.
Okay. He, aside from the clothes that he's wearing, like the sandals and robes and stuff, the only thing that he's got on him are a mace and a money bag.
I'll take the money bag and I'll offer the mace out to the group.
Okay. That's 13 silver pieces.
I've always been more of an axe kind of guy.
He really was a priest. Only got 13 silver pieces. Jesus.
Yo.
Currency.
Okay, so is anyone taking said mace?
I won't be.
Is that a normal one?
Yeah, just a normal mace that you could just buy in a shop.
Oh,
I have one of them.
not interested.
Okay, so Torden will basically just slander over and just take it from you.
Okay.
So what happened to the guards that were walking down our way?
But that is a good question. To be honest, I forgot about them. But so they got to about here. So now that this entire situation has gone on, the older guy basically just comes up to you and is like, I say, this is interesting.
It doesn't sound very interesting to me.
How so, my horny friend?
Oh, no.
Well, let's say that this is all again my mustache friend. Nothing interesting over here.
You are correct in that regard, as I would say murder is somewhat of a mundane activity. But allow me to introduce myself. My name is Botwine the Sausage, and these are my fellow inebriates.
Inebriates?
I'm sorry, what?
Botwine the
Sotted.
The sausage.
Sausage.
Botwine the sausage.
I heard sausage too.
Okay, so from now on, he's Botwine the
That's how
Sausage.
it's going in my notes. Botwine the sausage.
And his fellow inebriates?
Yep.
What is
Is
a
that-
single inebriate?
Does that mean that they are sausages as well?
Army of sausage.
Like a bratwurst, or like are we talking like chorizo? Like there's levels of sausage involved here.
It's a breakfast. What's going on?
I got questions, okay?
And speak, friend, for it seems that you and I and the rest of your group have some business to discuss.
Oh, is
Do
that
we?
so? What kind of business?
Well, we have witnessed an unprovoked attack that has occurred here, and as citizens of the law who respect law and order and who in no way would seek to enrich themselves from such an event, we would be obliged to report this and end your murderous ways. However, we understand that sometimes heads just simply roll or guts just get spilled. These things happen. People fall on their swords every day, you understand. But in order to promote such a tale, we require funds.
Well,
Wait, what?
Can I get insight from you, please?
From all of it.
that is my second natural 20 today.
17.
But I get a -1, so I'm 90.
Oh, 5.
I got an 11.
Okay, so you can immediately just tell he's not making it particularly like cryptic or anything. He's asking for a bribe to not report this to the guards.
Oh, sure. Anytime.
Can I actively hide the body?
Bit late for that, I think.
Just start chucking them in the water.
That's literally
Don't
what
mind
I'm
me.
Alright. Judging on the name of your merry band, how about we buy you a drink instead?
Oh, it would need to be several, because of course the reward for bringing in murderers such as yourselves, allegedly, of course, would buy several drinks.
I'll stretch as far as 2 each.
How much are we talking?
Yeah, probably it's even cheaper to buy the bride instead.
Oh, wouldn't be expensive. I'd say 20 gold will suffice. There's the cost of a red paladin nowadays.
Can I?
Go on, McKelly.
Thank you. Can I roll on intimidation?
Of course.
Oh, beautiful. Come on. Oh, it's an 18. but gonna say 20 gold is it's not cost of living for a red paladin right now, and we all know that you guys are pretty useful around here. So I'm pretty sure that one single drink each is more than adequate.
Right, so he basically looks at you and it's like, he seems to know that you're trying to be threatening about something. He's like, yes, I agree with that. So let's say a very tidy sum of, shall we say, 1 gold each for my men, and of course with the burden of leadership, 2 gold for me. So 12 gold in total.
So I will give him. I'm going to give him 10 gold,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to say, "This is for if I need you again." Not trying to intimidate him. I'm going to try and be nice, but he's going to basically. Doc is going to say, "Here's what you asked for, and here is extra in case I need you again."
Okay, so you're giving him 10 gold from your money for a different reason? Because they haven't yet agreed to his price yet?
No, so I'm automatically giving them the money that they've just asked for, and then giving them extra.
Okay, so that will be 22 gold in total.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Pleasure doing business with you. Again, Botwine the Sausage and his fellow inebriates are always available for hire should you need us. And even more so if you don't. Farewell, friends. So he turns to his men. About face! And they all just turn on the spot. They buzz, and they start marching away. At which point, George, Jason, and Stick come over. And Jason basically just goes straight over to here and is like, cough up. Scott's like, ugh, fine. And he tosses him a pouch full of gold.
What's that for?
And George basically says, Master Scroll and Lord Birch made a wager in this regard, so unfortunately Lord Birch lost.
Well, what was the wager? Just out of interest.
Well, that's Master Kashan here would be able to show off the attribute of his new axe.
What, sorry?
What happens whenever you kill people with it?
Oh. Well, that's fair.
Because at this point you haven't shown them or told them what the axe does whenever you kill people with it.
That is true. Well, not this time, unfortunately, guys. Maybe next time.
Do I want to ask?
Daddy, can I drink some of the coat?
No. Sorry, Scott, go ahead.
Wait, you're my dad?
So Padwin the Snake is going to go over to Onyx.
Okay, what's going on? What's happening?
I have a tongue.
You have a what though?
I have a thumb.
Have fun.
I thought you said a thong.
God, no, please. I see that, Padwin. You're a pretty snake.
Yes, I'm a giant snake. Can't you tell?
I suppose, yes, you are, in some regards.
Bear in mind, he's still the size of a kitten.
Yeah, I'm gonna just, like, make him feel like he's, like, the king of the world. Like, you know, how he's, like, actually, like, he imagines himself to be bigger. I'm gonna go along with that. So, like, yes, absolutely! Massive, you know?
I got something to show you.
Oh, no.
He slithers over here.
It's his penis.
No, no, no. Okay, I'll shuffle over for just a Google.
Okay, so he's looking into the crate that is full of all the wine.
Okay.
Look, green stuff.
Yes.
I'm colorblind.
Just pretty bottles. Just pretty bottles, Paladin. No need to like interact with them.
Wait,
Stuff.
What happens if I
green
drink?
stuff?
Can I drink some?
Yeah,
No.
go on.
No.
Yeah, go. Yeah, go on.
No, please, no. I'm gonna pick up any that seem like open or like close to opening and just like put them high up and be like, no, Padman, no.
And examine the bottle. Bottles.
Please. I don't want a drunk child that can shapeshift into God knows what.
I want
Tell
to
me
see
if it's not
Camilla again.
funny.
Yeah, I don't want to be electrocuted either with the whole CPR hand defibrillator stuff. Like, I don't want to deal with that. You guys, by all means, can go deal with that. That's not my problem.
Look, I deal with it.
Oh my god,
regularly
what is
enough.
that? Oh my god, that was huge.
That is not. I do it all the time. Scott, take over. This is your responsibility.
So
Quite
Scott-
literally.
So Scott basically looks at you and is like, I need to go talk to the ferryman.
Oh my god.
That is. Alright. I'm no longer stopping him drinking the code. I won't tell him he can do it, but I'm no longer stopping him.
So George lets out a big sigh and just goes over and says, Master Paladin, you should come over here. You should come over here. We've got healthy food to look at. He said, is the healthy food dog food that I can eat because I'm a Cerberus now? Yes, Master Paladin, come with me. And so George takes his three-headed Cerberus over to one of the stands.
Thank you, George, for being a lifesaver. God. Drunk Padman is not what I'm here for right now.
I stole a bottle.
What?
Nothing.
Can I steal some bottles, please?
No, I'm stepping away. I'm not responsible for any of that.
Yeah, sure. Can I get a... How many other... Can I get a D6 from you, please?
Yes, you can. 2.
Okay. But you'll need to add them manually to your inventory and just like the other items menu or whatever. Other possessions it's called.
Yeah.
But you basically have gained 2 bottles of wine. You don't know the value of them yet.
Can I try to get some as well?
Sure.
You never know when it's gonna be useful.
D6, please.
That's a 3.
So how much?
3.
Yep. So you also get 3 bottles.
I'm going to develop a drinking problem. Wonderful.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean? You're picking up a bottle?
This is not what it looked like.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then Tordum is going to come along and steal the last one.
Oh my god. Alright, I'm done. I need a pay raise.
Then Steakface just looks at you and is like, you get paid for this?
I wish. That's why I need the pay raise.
Okay, so now that this has occurred, I'm not really entirely sure what else can add to that. What would you like to do now?
Well, our business initially was to go cross the river, cross the sea, right?
Oh yeah, that's why we're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, why are we here again?
Oh,
I killed someone. I'm sorry. It's just a habit.
I'm an assassin, it happens.
Well, yeah, I guess it happened. Don't worry. It could happen to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
so
need to-
Scott is currently talking to the guy who looks like the ferryman, or the guy who looks like he's in charge here. So, does anyone want to go over and speak to him?
Sean, you look like with this beard. I mean, God. Can you go and check with the ferry if is everything okay?
Yeah, I can go and inject, I suppose. I'll be probably down.
So Scott sort of like turns to you, but coming, it's like, ah, you finally made it. Allow me to introduce Boy.
Boy.
So the guy. Oh God, sorry, I've lost my menus. Bear with me.
This is Atreus from God of War.
Boy.
Boy.
Where's he gone?
Matt's rapidly searching for a picture of Atreus from God of War.
Yeah.
In orc form.
Not what I expected, but alright.
And so the orc basically turns to you and is like, the name's Boy Rix. My father was an unimaginative man, and he wanted sons, so he named us Boy, including my sisters. The name stuck.
What's your sister's last bit to the name?
My father was Rix, so I'm Boy
So-
Rix.
And your sister is also Boy Rix?
Yeah.
I don't know who I feel more sorry for. You having your sister's name or your sister having yours?
Well, my sister killed my father, so I'd imagine she got her own back. But you may call me Boy. It's manly, you know?
Alright, well. Yeah, you're the one I feel most sorry for.
I'd say it's called boiling, but okay.
So, you lot and your horses and your wagon and all the crap, you want over the river first thing in the morning.
That's exactly the situation.
Well, I'm laying it to you straight. I'm not taking the wagon.
Is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, I can't fit in my boat.
Oh, come on.
Got a keel just half a mile out into the sea. We'll take longboats each of the ways, but we can't fit a wagon in there. Just about fit a horse, but that's it.
If we can get the wagon to the boat,
How do you suppose you do that? You swim with it on your back?
I used to have a friend that might help me with that, but I don't know. Hypothetically,
You use a lot of long words, mate.
okay, if I could do it,
My muscles are big because my brain is not.
if I can get it there, will you take it across?
Yeah. Fine, yeah, I suppose.
All
But if
right.
it falls overboard, I'm not jumping over to get it.
What would you jump over the boat to get?
My sister, Boy.
Is your sister going to be joining us?
I certainly hope not, but if she did, I'd dive in after her so I could drown her myself. I'm honor bound to avenge my father, even though he was a bastard.
You have a complicated family.
I'm an orc.
That
He's just acting as if that's like the answer to what you've just said.
You know, I have an orc friend. I understand.
Does anyone have nothing bigger? I mean, he's the only one over here that he owns a boat. I mean, looking around.
The issue is getting it to the larger boat. So these are just long boats to get to the boats that are like deployed.
We attach it to the longer boat and it floats.
We'll work that.
Hang on, let me legitimately look this up.
Does somebody have a
wagons float?
Surely it depends on what they're made of and what's in them. You know? There's a level of buoyancy involved in a wooden wagon, surely.
Well, I would imagine it depends upon if it's watertight.
Okay, unfortunately, whenever I type that in, it's come up with floats for parades that are put on wagons.
Huh. That's not where I anticipated that going at all.
Well, considering that whenever I typed in exorcism services 5e, it came up with fiver. Do
God.
wagons float in water?
Only if we made it watertight, it'd float.
I was honestly more considering that, like, somebody in our group has to have, like, a shrink spell or something, right? We can just shrink the wagon.
Okay, so historically, people travelling would sometimes prep their wagons to float across streams and rivers if the current wasn't too strong and was shallow enough that they could guide it there by swimming themselves. But the minimum can be chalked up to the cargo being strapped down around it, and then if that cargo floats, it could potentially cause the wagon to float as well.
If I get a bunch of barrels that are empty and attach it to the side of the wagon, I could swim it across?
What cargo have we got in the wagon?
Nothing that would float anyway.
We have the plough, and just generically the gear which the alphas don't have on them, so tents and food base and stuff like that, and then so the plough, the distiller, and then just generic travelling supplies, horse feed, that sort of thing.
Does anyone have like float or levitate or something along those lines? Something that can make something like lighter?
Sorry, one sec, guys.
I mean, Tordum is a wizard, right? So surely she can, right?
Right, so, sorry, what was the question?
I mean, Tordum is a wizard, so surely she can help on that.
Yeah, like does she have something that can make it like lighter? Like, I mean, how do I work out how much I could carry and how heavy is the one?
Okay, wagon.
Like, if I used a giant's might to increase my size, could I cut the wagon on my back?
Okay, so a wagon is 400 pounds.
Okay.
Can you carry 400 pounds?
I have a strength score of 21. I don't know how much I can carry.
Let's see.
Lifting
You can carry 315, and you can push, drag, and lift while standing. Standing still, 630.
Oh, easily.
So
But you're not standing, and
So
you.
the issue is I'm not. Right, okay. How would that change if I made myself, like, if I used my giant's might to make myself big? Because it says that, like, larger creatures can bear more weight, whereas tiny creatures can carry less.
For each size category above medium, double the creature's carrying capacity, and the amount can. Okay, so if you go into Giant's Might, you will be able to just carry the wagon. Whether the boat that you'll be going in will be able to carry you is another matter.
Right,
Yeah,
so
that's what I was thinking.
right. Here's the thing. So Giant's Might, I believe, is something I can. It only lasts for a minute, so I could use one or two to go across, and then I can just sort of wait for a bit until I go back.
Okay, let me quickly take you to the map. Okay, so
Okay.
where's my mouse gone? There we go. So you are where your character is. So,
Great.
10 miles.
I only need to get it to the boat, though, right?
Okay, so you would basically need to swim with this on your back at 2 miles per hour. Do you have a swim speed?
How? I don't know. How would I even find that out?
I've got an idea. Could we not get 2 boats and put 2 of the wheels of the wagon in one side, 2 of them in the other, spread out the weight, and then spread us out over the 2 boats, and then row that boat?
That could work.
Genius.
Depends on how on board the rest of the party is. The girls have been quite suspiciously silent for all of this.
I am not being held responsible for however the wagon is being transported. Like, you all are having some weird adventure here. I'm like, I commend the creativity. I'm loving it.
Honestly, very clearly.
Hold on a second. I've come up with the most soundproof way of getting the wagon across, and you're saying that it's going to be a weird idea when Kashan has just said that he's going to grow to the size of a mountain for a minute and carry it.
She's seen me grow in size before, though.
Yeah, like, I'm saying all of this is a little bit, like, imaginative. I'll give it that. I'm loving the creativity, but, like, if and when, actually, no, when things go wrong, I'm not being accountable or responsible for anything that is going to happen, okay? So you all have free reign.
You know what? Docker will
Where is Charlotte when we need her?
anything.
I know.
Where has she gone?
So when all of these situations gonna be done, and we all gonna need the wagon, you're gonna walk, and we are gonna stay in the wagon then.
I mean, sure. If this goes all correctly and fine and scot-free, you know, sure, I'll walk.
And
Why would
Scott
we
basically
stop
just
her?
looks at you
No!
and is like, hey.
Figure of speech, my bad.
Weird thing to say.
Docker is going to talk to Boy Rix, and he's going to say, Boy?
Yeah.
Well, that was a late reply, but okay. How many boats do you occupy?
Well, I've got a kill ship on this end, I've got a kill ship on the other end, and I've got 3 longboats for each ship.
So how many boats do you have with us here?
3. Can't you count?
I don't like you already. Anyway,
My name's Boy. What do you want from me?
so hypothetically,
You use a lot of long words, you lot.
Just say
if
That's longer. That's a longer word.
if we tie 2 boats together and place the wagon on top of those 2 boats and spread ourselves over those 2 boats, would you be willing to carry the wagon across?
So P thinks about this and it's just like, yeah, hell with it. Give me gold and I'll make it work.
So guys, do we give him gold?
I mean, I would, just because man's dealing with a lot of shit. If this goes terribly wrong, this could go awfully wrong for all of us. So I
I've
think
got another
man's deserves it.
question. How do we get the wagon there? Since we got little steps to go down, and how high is the steps?
It's just a
Is
5.
that-
It's basically just a 5-foot drop. But
I can get the wagon down there.
I was just about to say, Kashan can grow.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that.
I can get the wagon on the boats.
Kashan can get it on and off the boats. We just need to spread ourselves out evenly on the boats so that we don't tip it.
Pivot. Okay.
So it might be a good idea to put Kashan on one side and then the rest of us on the other.
Are you calling him fat?
Oh.
No, but if he grows in size,
Yeah, but it's gonna be just for a minute, and then what happen later?
Yeah, we can wait until I shrink back down to root out.
good point actually. I didn't think about that. I'd say I'm
Body shaming, bro.
I'm a rogue. I'm not that smart.
And let's just spread evenly with the wagon in the middle, and then just pray for the kids.
Okay, so are you all on board with doing this?
Yeah,
Do we have any more solutions?
we don't have another voice of judgment in here.
Charlotte, basically.
Charlotte?
We do have. She's
All dipped. They're
She's-
really tired.
Does Tordor have the spell of fly?
No, she doesn't.
Ah.
So did we say that Charlotte has...
Charles jumped off.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's put in the Discord that she's jumped off because she's really tired.
Okay. So, do you guys want to agree to sort of like engage with this?
Yes, so, I
I'm
mean,
all
I
for it.
can't think of anything.
It's just, if someone has a better idea, please put it forward. But right now, the only thing I can come up with is using 2 boats for buoyancy, unless someone has float, fly, or hover in their spells, which I don't think anybody does.
No.
I
Actually,
definitely don't.
And so, but you just hear Stick just like doing the innocent whistle and just going over to George and Paladin.
Yeah.
He's pretending to not hear you.
Dick.
Yeah. Get over here.
And so he lets out his big sigh and is like, what?
Do you have a way for us to get the wagon across that you've not mentioned?
No.
Why do I feel like you're lying?
Because,
Can I
I'm
do a
not.
perception check?
Yep, sure, if you want.
I was gonna roll for intimidation.
Invitation for
That would be my next roll.
performance.
That's a natural 20.
Oh my god.
Okay, so, first off, I don't know if you've actually taken a look at what Stick looks like, but... Oh, crap. But this is basically his helmet, which is a pair of wings. He's got wings on his boots. Everything about his attire is all about flight and effectively like the Air Force, and his horse is a Pegasus.
Oh.
Yeah, but he can't carry a wagon, can he?
He probably has a spell to make things float, though, so he could probably just. Yeah.
If you let us go through the idea of me carrying this wagon to a boat
No, please.
and have access to fly or float or something along those lines the entire time,
He just shrugs and he's like, you didn't ask?
I very specifically asked if anybody had it.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about you lot.
Oh my god.
Do you
Dick.
have the spell fly, float, or something along those lines?
I need to follow this up. Hang on a sec. Stick. Are you an
Yes.
alpha?
Yes, I'm an alpha.
Am I an alpha?
Yes.
Well, that's him.
You are, you guys!
So Padron then comes bounding over. He's like, oh, can I be you guys?
You have always been a you guys.
Let me see if I can turn into one.
What?
Wait, what?
Padron, what do you mean?
Hold on.
Adwin, you can become one of those guys properly when you come of age.
I don't know that I ever supported becoming one of those.
Rah!
Did he turn into a dragon?
Oh god.
Where is Paladin? Oh, what is that? What is that?
What is that?
This is something went wrong.
Hi, mate, you guys.
I don't know if that's what you are.
What?
Anyway, swiftly moving on. Still,
Wait.
no, let's not give him attention. You're giving him what he wants. Sean, do not give him attention.
But don't you want to know what it is?
Because if you give him attention, he will carry on. If you ignore him, he will slowly start to bore.
I don't want him to slowly start to bore. He's one of the most entertaining things about this journey. I want to know what the hell that thing is, Scott.
Sean.
So Scott comes over and is like, oh god, not again.
Again? Again? What?
He's going to audibly sigh and smack his forehead with his hand.
Stick float the wagon of the ship. Scott, explain.
So these creatures are sort of like these burrowing, I suppose, ghouls. But it's probably the best description for them. You'll find them inhabiting the abandoned battlefields and stuff. They'll take a corpse underground, feast on it, and their tentacles will be above ground, and they'll then pounce on things too. They'll walk by and drag them down below.
Oh,
Well, that sounds terrifying.
very cuddly thing indeed, huh?
Where did you let him meet one?
The word "let" and "Paladin" don't usually get used in the same
Where
sentence.
did he meet one?
Well, I'm assuming on a battlefield somewhere. So
Who
Paladin,
is he on a battle?
so Paladin comes like bounding over to you, but he doesn't know how to run with 3 legs. So he keeps on tripping over himself. Cuddle.
I love Paladin. I don't like him in this form, but I love him.
Cuddle.
I'm now iffing and ahhing whether I want a chimera or whether I want this.
And you said not to engage.
I will really cuddle this. How do you even pronounce that?
Blimey.
I honestly have no idea. I used to have this funk. Oh, here it is. Hold on.
Odiok.
Odio.
Oh, you? What? That is not how you say that word. There's no D there.
Odiok.
Well, I heard it was oh dear, so yes, oh dear.
There's no D in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
God. Yeah,
And-
okay.
And as you do, you hear in your voice, in your mind, Paladin's voice, I like cuddles.
Concerning as to why it's in my head, but yay. Oh God, why is he in my mind? I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's just a fever dream at this point. It's fine. God.
Is that how you feel about our entire adventure? Out of sheer morbid curiosity.
I mean, I rocked up one day, like a few days later, there's werewolves that we have to kill in town. There's a shapeshifter that's apparently seen
Don't forget the
world-ending
arena burnt down.
things. Oh, yeah.
You killed Tom
Yeah.
Holland multiple times.
That was
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a fever
honest-
dream.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm loving it.
You'll wake up eventually. It's alright.
Yay.
And don't worry, darling, I'll be in bed right beside you.
Oh God, I'm not waking up. Never mind. Oh God.
Anyway.
I forgot about Frank. He was so silent for so long. That was an actual streak there. Congrats to Frank there. God.
Anyway. Stick.
Yes,
Do you
it's
have
good to see you.
Do you have a spell that means the wagon can float, fly, or hover, or all of the above?
I can make it hover.
And can you make it move whilst it hovers?
Well, I can attach Raptor to it and he can pull it, but it only lasts for a little while. And probably get it to the boat. Or to the ship, rather.
Right, okay. And why did you not mention this before?
You didn't ask.
Because Sean...
One more time. Very specifically. Very. Specific.
You are one of us, therefore... He asked all of us, therefore... he asked you! Anyway, can we please make a move before I stab myself with my own sword?
I can just imagine Docker kills himself through doing sneak attack damage to himself and necrotic damage.
Oh god.
Instant to necrotic damage, so...
Okay, so Boyrix has already said that he's going to take you over first thing in the morning, because at this point it is now night time. So Scott's Scott is very nonchalantly just leaning against the wall at this point, so just watching all of this happen. So, are we just gonna set up camp outside the city, or shall we try and organise an inn somewhere?
Well, I would like a nice comfy bed, so I'm going to find an inn.
I need a drink.
Hey, I'm a posh guy.
After that conversation with Stick, I need many drinks with Kashan.
Well, thanks for including me.
Baracus can come too.
Not McKelly, sorry. McKelly, what's your character's name?
Baracus.
Yeah, and Tordum then comes over to you and pokes you in the leg with her tail. He's like, and me.
Baracus, you are always invited. Tordrum, I will cook you alive.
Can I have a drink?
But you are also welcome. No, Padwin. No,
Every Paladin.
you are too young for drink. I will give you a bowl of milk. How about that?
Are you not too young to drink?
Am I not too drunk to drink? You're not too drunk to drink.
So he turns into a mimic and opens his mouth, waiting for said drink.
Oh god.
I don't have anything.
Can I
I'm
inspect
not
the
giving
crates
him
of
the
wine?
I'm not giving him the wine.
I might.
Let's give him a sip, see what happens.
No, please. You can literally just tell Padwin that you'll give it to him later, and if he's patient and behaves, you could give him an extra one.
Did we establish whether or not the stuff in the crates was wine? Because somebody said it was green.
The bosses are green, but
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to inspect it once we're in the inn, but I'm trying to deal with Padwin currently.
They're not all bottles. I was just going to take a couple.
I've got 2 of them, and I think Baracus has got 3 as well.
and Tordum's got the
Oh.
last one.
Alright,
This
great,
open
great,
crate here
great.
is empty. The one that the dead paladins are strewn over, they're all closed up
Oh yeah, the ones I killed.
and haven't looted yet.
Anyway, swiftly moving on. Padwin, I will allow you to drink some of my bottles of wine if you change back into your normal self and are a good boy.
Yay! Wait, at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Am I a good boy now?
Can you what now?
Am I a good boy now?
If you continue being a good boy all the way to the inn, and for the rest of the evening, I will give you some wine.
Yay!
There we go. Shall we make way, people, before I again stab myself with my own sword?
Yes, sir. We'll find
Honestly,
out what those
part of me
bodies-
is curious to see if you do it, but yeah, no. Let's do it.
You're really raising that question, Kashan.
I mean...
Let's not encourage anything, guys, please. Let's just try and survive the night.
Slowly starts pulling out the blade.
No, oh my god, please, I just want to survive the night and just have an okay, peaceful night. Please.
Not a
With
test,
me.
John.
Oh, sorry, Padwin.
1 gold says you don't do it.
Oh my god. I'm not betting on this.
Oh, John, you know this.
So Jason is going to call
You've
over
got
to.
shield.
Jason's going to call over to you and is like, I'll take that bet.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Jason,
Alright.
me and you have had a feud since day 1. Do not join in on this.
Alright, 3.
For fuck's sake, I hate it.
It's not down to you guys. What have you done?
I hate you so much.
You don't have to do it.
Yes, I did this. Who are you talking to? Doc will unsheath his blades.
I'm not stopping. No.
Towards his stomach and look at Kashan.
He was rubbing the 3 gold pieces between his feet.
Oh my god.
And it's like he says, you don't have to do it.
But I do. And then I'm going to plunge my sword into my stomach.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, look, Docker's coat is melting.
No.
Oh my god.
Okay, so if you're really doing this, then roll damage.
I'm hoping that I don't. Well,
Does he have to roll an attack?
roll an attack because I'm willingly doing it to myself?
Since you're willingly doing it, no, it's just an instant hit. So, the question is, are you aiming for anything critical?
No, I'm just blindly aiming into my stomach.
Why'd you say blindly? That's
Okay,
Yes.
so seeing as you have allies in your vicinity, you do technically get sneak attack on this.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Say,
I mean, it can't
Okay.
really be a sneak attack if he's doing it to himself.
Right. The rules of sneak attack are very specific, and I made sure I understood them because people often utilize sneak attack to. Right, so you don't need advantage on an attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it. If that enemy is incapacitated and they don't have disadvantage on the attack roll, seeing as none of you. So at this point, Kashan stands as the enemy. But Tortum is standing next to him, as is Jason and Padwin, so they're his allies with you being his enemy. So,
I don't think I'm an enemy. I'm just a bad influence.
so by that
He's his enemy.
so by that definition, this would get sneak attack. Obviously, if you don't want to use sneak attack, you don't have to.
so if we're using it by your rules, then I will use sneak attack. That's fine.
No, don't worry. Just you do a normal attack. Chances are the necrotic damage will just kill you instantly anyway. But
What?
No, I'm resistant to necrotic, so
okay.
so I've got 2 slashing damage.
Okay.
Do you want me to do the sneak attack?
No, don't worry.
So the fuck's sake, what have I got myself into? The necrotic damage is 10, but because I'm resistant, does that halve it?
Yes.
So 5. So that's 7 damage total. And I'm currently stuck with a sword in my stomach, just staring at Kashan.
Jason's then going to take this opportunity to instantly whistle and walk away.
Well, fair enough. I'm going to give Dockery's 3 gold and walk towards an inn.
Docker is going to catch the gold and is going to splutter blood out of his mouth and go, I fucking told you.
You know what, dude? Fair enough.
Can I have some of your melting coat?
Now I don't know what to do.
So Tortum is basically just going to roll her eyes, immediately pull the sword out, and is going to cast Cure Wounds on you.
I would imagine that Docker is going to like make a noise whilst it is pulled out, like
Okay, so
almost like he's just finished everywhere.
I'll chuck a healing potion over my shoulder as I walk towards the inn.
you don't need to. He was cured 11 hit points.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
And she's just going to lick the blood off the sword.
Oh god.
Oh man, that's
That's enough.
I don't know if I'm turned on by this.
Oh, thanks.
Can I have some blood?
Docker will take his sword back, say thank you, sheathe the sword, and will walk towards Sean and the inn.
Okay, and shall we leave the session there for today?
Yeah, I think we should. Oh my days.
I don't think I've ever heard Trin so happy to end a session before.
Things went from 0 to 60 multiple times today. I just no.
Remember,
this was an emotional roller coaster she was not prepared for.
Exactly.
remember when I came back and I said that I am literal chaos?
Yeah.
Do you understand why I said that?
Yeah, but like we've already got Padwin, man.
I mean, I almost started a fight on my second session. I then started a fight on my third session and stabbed myself.
It's going well. It's really going well.
Can't see it going worse.
What?
Tried to get a girlfriend and horrendously either failed or succeeded. I'm not too sure on that department yet. Did I fail or did I succeed? I don't know.
Just for context of this, I had 3 paragraphs devoted to this section, as opposed to like entire pages and pages which are devoted to entire city. So.
God. So sorry. Only we're capable of this, of course.
You are welcome.
I fully expect us to already be across this river.
I forgot why we were here, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's actually explained it to you, to be perfectly honest.
I completely forgot why we were here, and then just saw red paladins, and they insulted Morena, so I was like, right, I've got to kill them. I just have to. That's how this works.
Isn't that how you do things?
Is that not how everyone does it?
I mean, normally we're a little bit, like, we normally don't start it.
Yeah, well, again, David, you should know as well as anyone how chaotic Docker is.
It is a wild experience.
He is very much a wild experience.
Very impulsive.
Very, very impulsive.
My man straight up run this paladin through.
My man straight up ran up to a priest and went, "You're going to die now."
You didn't even do that. You just walked up to him and stabbed him.
I didn't say a word. I walked straight up to him and stabbed him straight in the stomach and killed him. I'd say that's a pretty successful time, if you ask me.
Yeah, you got 500 XP for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yay!
I threatened a child.
Woo! We're on a great, good streak, right? Huh?
I'm really painting myself out in a good light here.
Mm-hmm. Marilla's so happy.
And Padwin's just sitting in the middle of this and like, I got 500 XP too.
What level are you, Paladin?
I don't know, I can't count.
Fair enough.
But I can cast level 9 spells.
What?
I cast Lightning Bolt.
Please don't cast lightning bolt.
I don't remember when he just suddenly became a complete beam of energy and shot himself at Zana.
I don't think I was here for that session.
I was not here for that.
He lit someone. It might have been me. Cocked him like a gun, and he became a literal beam of energy.
That was me, sir. George says.
Like
Yeah.
that literally, he became like a railgun almost.
Nice.
I like
It was quite something to behold. I was quite impressed with him.
Mm.
I went to sleep.
Yeah, he then fell asleep afterwards.
That's something.
What a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, what's the day? Especially for the Red Paladins.
Oh, these
Yeah.
old things.
You
Man.
not all things.
You nearly killed a 15-year-old bestie.
That
Like-
is true.
What? Hear me out.
Oh dear.
Did I kill him?
Which health was he on?
We didn't hurt him. He ran away.
Like, in my defense, I didn't kill the guy that. I let one go.
Yes.
I killed the one who said Morella was scum of the earth, which is fair. Not that she's the scum of the earth. I killed him because he said that.
Onyx is also an elf, right?
No, she's
No.
human, aren't you?
No?
No, I'm a human.
Oh, okay.
I killed him for
Alright,
saying
no,
that.
yeah, you both just sort of like have this similar sort of.
Yeah, we look
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah, Morella just comes up and says, "Oh, I see. Because she's blonde and uses a bow, that makes her an elf, does it?"
Oh, that's why I said Trin, not Onyx.
Oh yes, we beat the system.
Metagaming, okay.
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have Roll20 still up, and I don't have access to the character sheets, so I can't check these things. And I have no idea at what point Trin joined us, so finding the information about her character is not something that I ever wrote down because I assumed that everyone else would keep track of it.
Yeah, I honestly just rocked up and then I was like, I'm here now. Hey guys.
You were literally one and the same. I literally rely on Charlotte to make notes because I do not make notes.
Oh no, Charlotte is legit the note taker, and so as a result of her missing this, I'm going to make you guys pay for it.
Oh, God.
I have some notes, alright? Like, I've got specific things that, like, whenever Charlotte leaves, I've got specific things to fill Charlotte in on next time.
Big brain.
Yeah, so I can just imagine breaking this to her and it's like, so killed Red Paladins you were there for, came up with plan to transport wagon. Docker committed suicide.
By the way, has anybody seen or does anybody know about the new Puss in Boots movie?
Yes,
I've heard of it.
it's
didn't know
literally
about
the
it
only
until recently.
is literally the only advert I'm getting on YouTube at the minute.
So I've just posted. Well, I didn't just do it. I posted in our Discord a character sheet for Death from Puss in Boots.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
I saw. So someone someone posted it on Facebook somewhere, and I saw it. and I was like, I've got to put it in. I just had to put it in the chat.
That's cool.
yo, 24 in strength.
I mean, he's also got 200 hit points
That's pretty healthy, I'll give him that.
and an armor class of 22.
And
Oh,
resistance and immunity to pretty much everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think we should fight him.
Oh, I was gonna say let's make him our best friend or something, but yeah. That too, I guess.
Two kinds of people.
Yeah.
He's immune to necrotic and psychic damage, resistant to cold, fire, bludgeoning, fighting, and slashing from non-magical weapons.
My axe is magical, right?
He's immune to being charmed, enchanted, frightened. I thought that said fingered, but it says
Oh
frightened.
my god.
How did you make that mistake?
It's a bit blurry on my screen, so I couldn't see what it said.
I mean, he's dead. He doesn't necessarily need to have a hole.
What?
Welcome back, McKelly.
It's a pleasure.
Paralyzed, petrified, and poisoned. So he is literally immune to everything.
It's not immune to cuddles.
Oh yeah.
You can kill him with kindness.
You can kill him with kindness, it's very true.
I can cuddle him. I like cuddles.
Oh.
To be fair, he is not immune to lightning damage, so Padwin could shock him.
True.
My paws are defibrillators.
Why is he resistant to fire?
The fires of hell, I'm assuming.
True.
He's vulnerable to radiant damage, though.
Yes, he is vulnerable to radiant damage.
And I think Morella has a number of radiant spells.
I am not. Ooh, I'd like to become a radiant kraken. Radiant.
To be fair, I think I am resistant to necrotic and radiant damage.
Yeah, let's have a quick look.
That is the joy of.
I'm
Yeah,
resistant
you
to
are.
fire.
That's the joy of being a fallen Essamor.
I am resistant to fire.
Well, I should hope you are. You're Dragonborn.
Well, there was an interesting occasion where they were doing dungeon crawl, and they set off a trap, which was flamethrowers coming out of the walls, and Alumba and Kashan got caught in this, and they both did a dexterity saving throw. Alumba failed, Kashan succeeded, but it wouldn't have mattered because Kashan was resistant to fire anyway.
So he halved the half damage.
Yes.
Alright then, so shall I just entitle this just Murder Spree? Again.
Maybe.
Doctor dies? Question mark.
Oh, it's hopefully not.
Alright guys,
Doctor.
this was really good. I really needed this. I had a really stressful day today, so thank you for that.
Oh,
You know what? Same.
Oh god.
What? You're welcome.
Alright guys, so I'll log off now because the little one's fallen asleep in my lab. So shall we pencil in next Monday again?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
for
should
Monday.
be all good.
Down for it.
I can do it a bit early if people want to. I'm not finishing the date next week, so.
Well, 8 o'clock seems to be working quite well for me and Natalie now because basically the girls' bedtime is 7:30, and so generally by 8 o'clock they're
Down, so that's fine.
they're either
Yeah.
down or in the process of getting down. So so we can stick to 8 o'clock, and then once we sort of bring bedtime forward a little bit, then we might start doing it at 7:30 again.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool with me at least, yeah.
Alright then, guys.
It's been a
Thank you for
pleasure.
the session.